think tonight's topic is one of my favorites. It's based on something of how I would have been able to be so blessed in what I do, and that's collaborations. I think collaboration is something that we're not really led onto at first when we first get into this whole production world, trying to find our own paths, our own sound. I think we make it too complicated for ourselves, but it is true about what they say, but it's who you know in the industry. I went in being a musician, being a touring musician for years. I thought that I would be different. I've got this musician skill. I opened up for Linkin Park. I got Warner Brothers and all this kind of stuff. I went in there big-headed, and I was getting nowhere. I was submitting. I didn't know where to submit anything. I just limited myself completely. I had a friend of mine who happened to have a friend of his that was looking for somebody to help him out to create some music. So I went ahead, okay, cool. I didn't have any idea about it, so I went ahead and submitted some music to it. And I did it all wrong because, of course, I had a little bit of arrogance in me at the time, being younger and just like, well, they better not steal my beat. So I put a tag on it and all that good stuff. And then I got feedback like, don't put a tag on it, don't do this, don't do that. Long story short, it ended up being one of my first placements. And in that, her name was Ashley Ring. She actually was with the Cash Money at the time. So it was cool because it was my first placement and it actually had Lil Wayne on it as well. It taught me a lot to humble myself and not be so protective about everything that I'm doing, and just be protective, of course, but it's just about collaborating, especially when you don't have resources, you don't have those connections yet. Don't be scared to collaborate. I've been working solo for 15 years before I started opening the door to collaborations. And when I did, now it's like, man, I don't even like to work alone anymore. About 99% of the stuff I do now is collaborations. So I usually bring my team in. It's like more brains at once. I find myself more productive because now the things I was struggling in, say like percussions or whatever it is, surround yourself with people that are good at that. Have them start the track, bring in the percussion from them, bring it in a loop, and then just start putting your stuff on top of that, send it back, and man, it works wonders to open the door to other people to collaborate. So keep doing your thing, but always open a door for collaboration. I just had too much ego going into it that I thought that I could do it all by myself, and man, you learn real hard and real fast that it doesn't always work like that. So with that said, there's also some rules about collaboration. Like I've learned tagging my beats and doing all that stuff I was trying to do. I even sent some stuff to Timbaland one time and I had my beats tagged and he was like, bro, you think I'm gonna steal this? It humbled me because it's like, dang, I didn't realize I had a tag on it, my bad. But it gives you that vibe. This day and age, music is so accessible. You can have your stuff protected. There's ways to go ahead and put your metadata in there and stuff like that. But if you're not trusting the people that you're collaborating with, then you probably shouldn't be collaborating with them. There are some people that do sneaky things. Be mindful of who you're collaborating with, and at the same time, just be open to it on top of everything else you're doing, because there's no such thing as putting all your eggs in one basket and thinking that's how you're going to make it. You got to keep going and keep educating yourself, keep stretching out, and just keep doing things you never thought you'd wanted to or that you could do. In fact, today, I was speaking to Kim Carell. She hit me up on that note. She was like, I'm an artist, this and this. And it was cool because she came with that notion. And I was like, you got to do everything. Everything you're trying to do, it feels like you're doing a lot. But it's good. It's the way you keep yourself busy and active. The time you start limiting yourself to one thing, that's where you're going to stay. Especially when it comes to visual media, like placing music in TV, film. That's the best opinion, because I've been in the sessions with Timbaland and Mariah Carey and all these great names, but I find more joy just being in my own spot doing music for NFL. It's rewarding because you hear your beat coming on and you see visuals with your beat. It's amazing. And I know Music Alliance has platforms here. They offer sync and getting into sync and whatnot, but as a creator, I can't stress enough. Really look into it, especially if y'all like making beats, top lining, making music. Sync is definitely something you want to get your hands into. And it's cool because you can be a chameleon in it. You can do anything. Man, I got some stuff. If I heard y'all, everybody would disconnect. Crazy kid shows and all these embarrassing songs. But it pays insane and it gets your name on the board and it allows you to be a chameleon. I walked into that. My first show was Adventures in Hollywood, 3-6 Mafia. And I found that by collaborating with a producer that happened to know the music supervisor. And then once he heard my stuff, he asked for more and asked for more. And by the time I know it, I had about 132 cues on that show just from beats. Yeah, collaboration is definitely the key, especially if you're just starting out or no matter where you are in your career. But on that note, there are some rules that is really good to keep in mind, because when you're collaborating with people, especially if it's somebody that has a lot more seniority in the industry than you do, I can't be more clear than just being respectful, man. Respect, thorough, and organic, because it is insane. One time we worked with this guy that we met on Instagram because he had this one track and we were in the studio and he had this track up and he tagged us in it, and we were on a session and we hit him on the DMs like, hey man, that would work perfect for this artist we're working on. So we bring him in, we were just trying to be cool. But the next thing, the guy started posting, hey man, I got this song with so-and-so, and he started tagging the artist, and oh my gosh, it made us look stupid. Like we had to pull it immediately because it was a huge name. It made us look stupid because we didn't think he would do anything like that, but it's just the whole respect factor is that somebody's opening the door for you, totally respect who they are, don't name call or tag, and just be respectful and always ask for permission before you do anything. And it's like etiquette of working with people that are kind of established and things of that nature.
I had a question about when you're saying tagging your songs.
I'm talking about back in the day, I had a tag that was like Gilde Flores Productions. I had it everywhere. Everyone was going to steal my stuff, and that's just how I felt. It was insane. It's just disrespectful a lot when it gets into the industry, people, because your connection into them should be a really tight connection, so you shouldn't have to worry about them stealing it. If you do have it copywritten or proof that it's yours, then let them steal it, because that's a lawsuit.
Hey, I got music out already. I'm on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, where they can do rails with me. I just take pictures and put my music in the background and let them get hooked like that and just pass it out. Just go down the list, just pick randomly people, pass my music out. And sometimes I'll post and do a lot of rails. People don't realize I got to be in my right state of mind.
John, I can tell you, man, what'll change everything is if you start businessing up, man. And I mean that, do LLCs, create a business, trademark that name. It's going to cost money. But when you do that, you hold your weight differently. People start to respect you. I can't make that enough. Like, I've always been somebody trying to prove myself everywhere I've gone. But the minute you put an LLC or something behind yourself, it makes it a different thing. What you invest in you becomes a business. And then you start acting like a business. You start treating yourself like a business. By the time you know it, people start treating you like a business.
John, it sounds like you have a lot going on. We'd love to have you share some of that with us on a later session. I have to move on and let some other people ask questions, but thanks for introducing yourself. It's always nice to know what different artists are going through, what they're up against, and why they're creating their art in the way that they're creating it.
Share your info in the chat, John.
Yeah.
So we can check out your Insta, whatever you got, man.
You said make sure that you're being professional and not be too overzealous, but do you ever talk about splits when you start collaborating before you get into a situation, or do you just straight up collaborate and talk about the split sheet later? Do you have an idea about if you should just not put any sound tags on something?
I think it's all up to you. There's nothing wrong with tags. They just mean my tag was whack. My tag was a whole different deal. If I would have got creative, there's like nothing wrong. I mean, because I still know people that use them today. But I think it's just depending on if you're setting random beats out with different people, it's just up to you. If it's an artistic approach or creative approach, there is nothing wrong with that. It is all good all day. That one's definitely up to you, man. What you feel on that one, how it identifies you as an artist or a creator, period. But as far as the split sheets and stuff, yeah, man, I think it's good to get in the habit to have, like, for me, I've got like a folder that any time that I get involved with anything, it's good just to go ahead, especially in the sync world. Like, I've been doing the sync world for 15 years straight. So everything we do, we have it, even if it's for our records. If we bring on new people, or if I go work with somebody else, we have a split sheet of who did what. If we're doing the music, you and I half and half. The writer gets the other. We do 25-25. We split that. It's always good to have some kind of blank forms to have and toss them. Hey, guys, like, here's my split sheet. I think we should discuss that, because if you're just putting it out there and shopping the track, it can come to, I've seen this multiple times. You just submitted the track. Let's just use the example for visual media. True story. We had a theme song that we had worked on, and we hadn't got the people to do any kind of split sheets or anything. We didn't have the discussion, in other words. So they submit the song, it gets placed. It was like Robert Rodriguez's show. They all loved it. And at the last minute, they try to reach out, the music supervisor try to reach out to make sure everybody's on board, telling them what they're going to get paid. And it turns out there was a big discrepancy in splits. Who wrote what? Now this person, apparently they all had agreed on it beforehand, but now money was involved. It was a different story. So these people that were friends for years got in a huge fight, and it almost went legal. But point being, it's always good to have some kind of form, especially in the visual media world. Always have split sheets. A lot of publishers won't even take the music unless they're a part of the package. So even though they won't ask for it, it's good to have them on hand, because if that ever does come up, just to go back on that, they lost the whole theme song. And it was like they lost at least a good 80 grand. They had to get it replaced. They lost their opportunity. Plus they got blacklisted with the company. So there's a lot that can happen. So I would say get in the habit of always getting your split sheets with people and just make sure that you're protected. You don't ever want to go and lose something like that, or have somebody do something unfavorable and steal your part of it. And then you're over here trying to prove it. So it's just good to get in the habit of just getting it off the top and moving forward.
You're starting with someone and you don't know if it's going to go well. Do you ask for the split information then, or wait until you see how it's going? And then by then they may say, oh, you wrote the lyrics and the melody, but I want 75%. Well, no, I wrote the lyrics and the melody. That's basically the song, so we can go 50-50.
I think it's good off the bat to do it. I had to get it in the habit. I'm fortunate to have management, but at the same time, anytime we get in a session and start collaborating and stuff, once we all get in there and we start laying stuff down, then it's like just it's a thing like, all right, cool, man. Hey, where's the split sheet? Then it starts getting passed around and we do it. The people that you're with kind of already know, or if it's somebody that you work with a lot, then it's like, I have a partner and we don't do split sheets. Maybe we should, but we've been working together so long that it's pretty much, we've done it once, we've done it twice, done it 3 times, and then we just keep creating music. If you have a folder in Dropbox, I have forms. I have NDA forms and all these different things just on standby, because you never know what you're going to get involved in, and it's always good. I have no shame. I'm just like, hey, man, okay, before we get into it, we're all excited about what we just laid down. Before we move forward, let's work out the splits. It's uncomfortable sometimes, but it's something that has to be done. It's one of those things where you have to have that business mindset and think, okay, what if something goes bad, especially when it's a bunch of creators. When I was actually doing the studio sessions, we would get an itinerary. Next thing you know, we'd be at the Hit Factory. We don't know who's going to walk in those doors. We're there. Here comes some other collaborator. Here comes some other producers. And then the next thing you know, you're creating. There's different rooms, and you're just creating. You start creating, and then an artist walks in, and then top liners walk in. There's so much going on, so it's almost custom that we have people that will go and get the split sheet and figure things out for us. But it's good habit to have your own. Like I said, you never know what's going to happen. And it's professional. Even if you're the only one getting it, there's a way to at least ask it. But it should be part of your thing, just to make sure. It's better safe than sorry.
Are you open at all to sharing templates?
Yeah, no problem. I can take some stuff off of mine. And I have a legal team that does all that at one point for me. But I don't have any problem sharing it.
Go ahead and send them to us, because I was going to say go ahead and drop them in the Slack channel. Go ahead and look at them. Go ahead and email them to us. And, yeah, we'll make sure that they get in the Slack channel.
On that note, I know Music Alliance has a section where they have a lot of forms that you can download.
Of course, you have to change and personalize everything and always have a lawyer look at it. But it's nice to at least start and not just have a blank Word document.
I'm finally getting my music out there. I finally found some producers, and I've got some things in producer limbo. This one person I met on a sync seminar. He said he was all down to start on sync. I'm ready to go on sync, but I need somebody who produces and stuff. So it's fine. He sent me some tracks, and I wasn't really feeling anything except one. I started getting images and stuff right away. So I came up with the idea, the melody. I worked out the lyrics, even worked out a little bit of a rap, and he really liked it. And the next thing I know, he's gone. I'm thinking that since I wrote the lyrics and the melody, I used his track for the inspiration. I still have that song, right? That's still my song. I can move forward with it, and then if he wants to become involved, fine. But if he doesn't, then can I move forward with it?
Totally good as far as if you have the permission, because it's still going to be his track with the music regardless, no matter how good it was. Back in my days when I started producing, I had a lot of people bringing me an a cappella saying, hey, this didn't work out, can you create something to this? It's just depending. I would say definitely try to reach out as best as you can. If what y'all did as a collaborative force, maybe he just stopped feeling it, or maybe he just changed ideas. Because I've had some things, this is nothing against, I've never heard your work. I've had some things where I wasn't cool with the way it came out. Back in my unprofessional days, I wouldn't say I ghosted them, but man, that's bad to say. You know, it's a hard conversation to have when you're not feeling something. You don't want to hurt people's feelings. And so some of the people ghost. They just don't want conversation.
I know when you're going in that sometimes they may like it and sometimes they don't. I've had people who are feeling what I top-lined and some people that weren't feeling it. I'm okay. He said, I love it. You know, I love the idea. It was very poppy. And frankly, his track wasn't that good for me. And I was asking, are you going to put bass in? Are you going to put some drums in? It was kind of Jason Moran's, the song with the ukulele, kind of poppy and happy. I asked him, was he going to do some more stuff with the track? And he said, yes, he was. And then next thing I know, he was gone after giving positive. I like the direction it's going. Let's finish it, blah, blah, blah. And then just gone. Since the track wasn't that strong for me, I'm thinking I could have somebody else do a different track to it.
Yeah, if your vocals followed his melody, you know, on the hook or whatnot, you have to take it and address it. He did create this line and I did follow that. So then it's genuine to change that if it comes to you having somebody else do it, because you are still taking the person's melody that inspired you to do that. Tweaking it is no problem. It's just being mindful, even when a lot of people do us wrong, the first instinct is probably to get back or do that. But I've learned a lot better on yourself to play your cards the right way, be the bigger person, and if it's the guy's melody, then just walk around it. Do something, step outside of that, but don't just take the melody and go on, because if that guy's staying dormant and that song blows up, then you guarantee he's going to come out of the dark. It's just going to start a lot of mess for you and for everybody else involved, especially the new producer. That's the worst. Then it's going to just taint your name and you in the industry. What if it blew up major? Now you're in a lawsuit. You just got to be that goodness in you, you know, just have to do the right thing. Don't take somebody else's work. It sucks that he ran off, but just always do the right thing.
I understand. He just had chords. I built the melody so that I'm good.
Yeah, for sure. Chords are chords. We're all going to have progressions. So many songs sounds like the same song if you're just listening to the progression.
Lawrence, did you want to ask your question?
After the collaboration, the creation of the song, to simplify the question, let's say I'm the only person on this song. I made the beat and then I'm also the writer to it. I'm confused about the copyright. Do you have to copyright it twice? Copyright the actual song with the lyrics, and then you have to make another copyright of the musical notation, like the composition?
Basically put down the lyrics and the actual composition of it, then the master. There's different types, but if it's you doing it, I have not done this in the longest time. I'm not a top liner or a songwriter myself, but it's something that you could put on there, the lyrics, the music, and then the master of it. It should be addressed when you're filling out copyright information. As far as you being the sole creator of it, yeah, I think it's going to be good whenever you do that. Everything is always broken down in that format. Like I said, I have not done it myself as a songwriter. I know that they are different entities. Terry answered that in the chat as well. Songwriter, the SR copyright form.
Okay. It looks like Kevin's got a question.
Awesome. Can you hear me? Thank you guys for the time, and I love things like this. It's always so insightful. It's so much better than YouTube.
You get that feedback.
You're awesome, brother. I listen to a lot of your music you made. It's very inspiring.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
So my question was, when's the next thing like this happening? So I can put it on my calendar. That's what I'm looking forward to.
Absolutely. Sean.
We are on with Gilde every third Tuesday. Every third Tuesday of the month we're on. You have a constant place that you can come and listen, sometimes you don't even know you have that question because you don't know what you don't know until somebody gets on. You have people asking questions and you're like, yeah, I never even thought of that. You can never hear enough from other people who are doing it and finding themselves successful at it.
I could sit here and I could tell y'all, show y'all how I do my workflow and how I got this and how I got that. But what I love doing and what I have been trying to do is the whole mental health thing and music. I came up from poverty, homeless. I've done all that stuff on my pursuit following music. So this is the thing that a lot of people won't tell you. You'll see the glitz and glamour and all the success, but those times when you're in your room, beating your head against the wall, crying, begging, pleading, whatever you can do to get yourself together, to push, especially from people saying, go get a job, go get a life, you're a loser because music's never going to work out for you, and all of that stuff. So when I made it work for me, I'm going to use that platform to help people get over that, because that's what I realized. I was too busy in my own head, allowing myself to stay trapped because everybody said what they wanted to see in me. I lost myself in the whole process. When I tell you the people I've worked with, Timbaland, Hans Zimmer, I can keep going, but all of those were from a dream, and passion and persistence is how I got each one of those things. That's stuff that nobody will tell you. They won't tell you I've had to live off bologna sandwiches. It's like the pursuit of the musician or whatever y'all are, creators. The world's not ready for us. It's not an open door to pursue music and be successful. It's literally the blood, sweat, and tears. And majority of the time you're doing 90% of the stuff, people don't really see what you're going through. They just see your success and stuff like that. So what I do, I'm blessed. Like, man, God has given me everything that I have. But I also use that as an open door to really tell you how I did it. And a lot of it was defeating, getting over those walls that I was creating for myself, listening to all that noise. That's the whole temperament of my channel, of what I like to do. Instead of sitting here going over a PowerPoint with y'all, I say a little bit, then I'm like, open. Okay, well, let's talk. Because I know people are meeting what we have as the topic. We're all going about it in a different way. Each one of us has a unique story. So that's why I love opening up and hearing your story. And if there's something that I've gone through, I'm more than happy to give you my part, how I got through it. I just try to keep it as real as possible. Thank you again for showing up.
It looks like Dana's got a question.
I've been wondering this and wanted to take this opportunity to ask it, and I really appreciate if you can help with this. An artist that I work with, she bought one of those, like, music producers will sometimes lease their productions for two artists or sell them. So she got one of those, and then we ended up adding to it and changing it. So she had full rights to use it, but we have now restructured it. It has different new elements. I'm just wondering, let's say she blows up and this becomes like a super song. What kind of issues may be facing when it comes to the publishing? I don't believe there's a clause in there that, we have the right to change the production. It's like by a really well-known producer as well. We restructured it and changed it and added stuff to it. And I don't think the contract that the lease has or the beat that she bought, it doesn't have any kind of a clause about that. So I'm just wondering, like, how do you think we should deal with this copyright now?
Something that you got to really, really keep in mind, especially if you're getting music from websites or wherever you got it, they usually have some kind of clause attached. Like a lot of them, it's royalty free to use. If you leased it, X amount until it plays, and then you got to come back to them and renegotiate.
Actually read through it. We bought all the rights, even sync, everything. I really believe in her. And the problem is that there's nothing about what if we add a new element to this song, because we added a whole new section, like a bridge and the production.
So you have paperwork when you initially first bought it, right? It's questionable. Are they the sole owners, or did they get it somewhere else and then resell it? There's a lot involved. So if you have paperwork on the first go, whenever your transaction was getting it, then it's going to hold up a lot better for your end, your side of the things. Of course, they're going to have to dig deeper to see if that person, if it does become a huge successful song and it's worth that effort. But as long as you have signed whatever, then it's going to protect your part of it off the bat.
It has their basic stuff, and then it has a whole other part produced by me. So I'm just wondering if that's going to be a problem, because like obviously it's theirs, how I should handle that as a copyright.
As long as you got the track passed into your hands, as long as you have that authority there, you can make changes, additions, shorten it, or whatever it is, because it became your property in a sense that if it was passed over to you, then you have that on writing. The most important key element is having that on writing. You become a collaborative force, and if I don't even know if it's in writing, like if they're just all rights exclusively to you, then you don't have to go back. We want to do this, we want to do that. If it's not stated, then it's good nature to, because then that kind of just keeps that person from coming back at you later. And if that's the case, we know we didn't negotiate this, but we changed it, we've done this. So piggybacking off of what you've given us, here's our contract stating that we've added this and that it stays right there. When you send it to us, it stopped there. Sign this. You can go that way. That's the cool thing about music. There's guidelines, and it's a lot about what you do as an individual. I always take the extra initiative to reach back out to people if I have access. I did, y'all are probably familiar with The Last of Us, right? I was commissioned directly by Naughty Dog. We had a Zoom call, and I had to basically redo the theme. And of course, Gustavo, it belongs to him. I had to get somebody that had a ronroco, which is a particular instrument that Gustavo plays. What I did, I went and hired somebody from overseas that happened to play a ronroco, and I couldn't tell him what it was for, because immediately if I told him what it was for, he was going to bump that price up on me.
As you were saying, I was thinking to myself, I got to do this as early as possible. Later, if something happens with it, it becomes more expensive.
Sometimes you don't have a budget, so I had to think of a way to get around this. I would have done it myself, but I paid the guy to do it, and I didn't even tell him what it was for. He did it to a beats per minute. He got it back to me. I time stretched it. I cut it up, made it work, and I used it for the theme. It's like the same concept in the fact that I could have gone back and given him more if I wanted to, but I commissioned the guy. I paid him his part.
I love your spirit and everything.
Thank you.
I'm a veteran that's been around for a long time, and I recognize like-minded people, and it's funny, it doesn't change from the decades on. I've been engineering and producing since 1982.
Man, I could tell by that amazing setup you have there, man. The whole time you were there, I was trying to peep. That's a Grammy up there too, right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I like to stay up to date and everything. You have to stay on top of our game. So no matter how old I get, I keep bringing it in. But I love your spirit. I love what you're passing on. You don't know. He's just dropping some diamonds for y'all to go ahead and pick it up and just keep doing what you're doing, man. It's unbelievable. Another thing I wanted to get with you about, I've been staying on top of, is AI and music. Have you ever checked out Suno.ai and stuff like that?
I have not. I've gotten into AI, man. It's crazy that you bring that up. Like right now, I'm going to just tell you, because everybody's here. So a lot of people have the assumption that AI is going to come in and take our jobs and this and that, right? I literally just got with a few partners of mine. We're literally investing or finding some investors because we're talking to some AI developers right now to develop an idea that we had. And I'd love to talk more about it whenever I get to the stages. I'll even get with Music Alliance and have it like a prototype or to try to mess with it. But I can tell you this, that AI is no different than, they call it artificial intelligence, but if you think of it like this, it's just organizing stuff that already exists. Say, for instance, you have a folder full of stems, thousands of templates of music or whatnot. AI just goes through what's already there and puts it together like Legos and pieces it and presents it to it in another format, creating something from thin air. That doesn't even exist right now. AI doesn't have the capability of making music from scratch. You have to train AI, give it information, feed it the templates, and all it does is basically just sort things together for you and present a new match. When I found that out, I was like, wow, that's good and bad. That means there's still a capability that it could come after us.
They're training it on a lot of stuff. Like ChatGPT stands for Generative Pre-Trained Transform. You put the stuff in there. They've got a tool called Suno.ai that is amazing with some of the stuff. Now, this is the worst anything's ever going to be where it is now. The quality isn't quite there. You couldn't put it out as a final thing, but for stoking ideas, giving inspiration and things like that, it can literally come up with some amazing stuff. I'm sure pretty much everybody on here probably heard that AI Drake song. It's a whole other thing. So I'm just trying to stay on top of this because it's a whole new world now. It's like when I was a kid coming in first learning, when I was probably your age and everything, people freaked out when drum machines first came on. When I started, there weren't no drum machines, there weren't no sequencers and all that. People were playing live, and then I saw the whole transition. But everybody freaked out the same way. Just another tool. It's just another tool.
Yes. Yeah, I think that's what it is. It's just the education of just knowing that, like you said, every type of new invention, a new level that we progress, people freak out. Think about the horse and buggy and then the car. So I sure as heck don't want to be in no horse and buggy. I'm happy with the car. You have to embrace the transition of evolution, and just understand and learn how to use it as a tool. And yeah, it's amazing. But I dropped my information for you, Khalik. I'd love to chat with you about that more, man.
We are going to move on to Tracy.
I'm so grateful to be here that I was able to make it. One question for now. And it's similar to the copyright thing. Okay, so I have 4 cover songs that I want to record, and then I have 1 song that I wrote that I'm looking for a producer or beat makers for. Now, one of the songs, I wanted to change some of the words. But in the licensing that I paid for, it didn't have any language that said that I couldn't change any of the words. Would I need to contact the original creators or producers to get permission instead of paying the licensing company to do it for me? Because they're charging like a few $100s. From what I know, I could send them an email myself.
There's nothing wrong with it. The whole point that either you're going to do it or someone else is going to do it is to definitely do it. Reach out and make sure that you're covered. It's always good when you do go to places like that because there may be a legal team or they know exactly how to get to, maybe if it's not the person that's in charge of it, there may be another person that owns the masters or the publishing. I've seen people that used to own rights to something sell the rights to sound royalties or different types of organization, royalty exchange, where they no longer have the rights to it. So if you come to them, you're taking that risk of, does the person still own the rights and stuff like that. That's usually why they have places, people that have direct connect with them that can do all that for you. Because I know in trailer music, trailerization right now, you've heard cover music that of your favorite songs. Now they're like in the trailers. You can hear like a different cover of it. So the way that works is they still have to go and get permission from the publishing to use that. So they have to write, you can go ahead and use that. So, but there still has to be a point of contact to make sure everything is legit and out of the way and everything's agreed upon, especially if you're changing lyric. Somebody accessible, yeah, reach out to them. Just say, hey, I'm doing this, I got this. Do you still own the full rights to this song, or would I have to speak to somebody else? Like address that straight off. So that way if they do, then they can direct you to who does, instead of just going to them and they're just like, yeah, go ahead and use it. And then you didn't check that, and then it comes back at you, just to make sure for yourself.
We're going to go to James.
I'm trying to see how will this platform benefit us going forward.
Gilde and our other channel hosts really spend a lot of time putting together good information for you guys and things that they think are going to spark conversations like this. But Music Alliance has courses on our website. But the other nice thing is that you then can come to these kind of sessions and you can ask questions about those kinds of things, the technical things, and also the business side of things. So as somebody who sounds like you're in artist management or production, is that what it is?
I am artist management, yes.
Definitely these kinds of sessions, knowing these kinds of things that Gilde is talking about can benefit you when you're talking to your clients. We have some other channels. We have sync session channels. We have our live music booking channel. We have a tech channel where we talk about our DAWs like Logic and Ableton and all those kinds of things. The best thing you can do is go ahead and join us. Look at our monthly schedule because we have career coaching sessions with Gilde and our other hosts monthly. You can come here and learn stuff with us, and I guarantee you that there's stuff that you can use. And don't forget to network. Drop your stuff in the chat because we want to look you up and see what you're up to, and we want you to know us too. Okay, Gary. Gary is a patient man.
Hi. Thank you, Chandel. Thank you. This is the second one of the things that I've been to. I've been getting the information, just trying to find out more about it. The second time I've seen you, and I just think that it's great that your energy, it just comes across, and it's something that I think we all need in this business, to have somebody that you can talk to or that you can relate to that obviously knows the business and can give you that kick that you need sometimes, because it can be discouraging. I want to thank you for that. I just think that your energy is outstanding, and I appreciate that. Chandel, you do a great job hosting this thing, because there's so much to juggle around and all the questions. So it's same to you as well. I got into the sync licensing. I've been taking a few courses here and there about 3 years ago. There's a small group of us that were in a lot of the same courses. And we're at the point now where we feel like we've got the information we need. It's in our hands now. A lot of the sessions you go to is retreading a lot of the same information that you've already got. But when you get out there and it's your decision to do all these sorts of things, you were talking earlier about good money to be made in some of these placements. We're obviously all looking for those, right? And I know that ads and trailers are big.
Oh, yeah.
You know? But in the meantime, some of these smaller things, like reality TV and that sort of stuff, your input on, as far as like getting into the industry any way that you can, or just looking for those big placements, is there a preferred avenue that got you started, or is it just soaking everything in and going with the flow?
Everything you said there, Gary. I am honest, man. All those questions you asked me is the same questions I ask myself. What am I trying to do? I've gone the producer route. I've worked with some people that I've really looked up to, legendary producers and whatnot. And I'll be honest, a lot of the times I didn't find my place. I think that's the thing with us musicians and creatives. We probably kick ourselves for losing all those years that we were a touring musician, or losing those years that we didn't get involved in that. I think for me, I realized I was stubborn. I was not eager to learn at the times I was in those things, so I kept chasing my tail. But if I would have just been eager, there were all those questions you just asked yourself, had I applied that early on, I would have gotten where I am today sooner, put it that way. So I think as a creator, we never make mistakes. We never make mistakes no matter how long it takes you to get where you're at. You have to have that perspective tuned in to always crossing that bar. And you have to be the only one setting the bar. You can't allow your friends, your family to set the bar for you. That's the problem. I kept setting a bar that other people were telling me I should set. So the minute I tried to jump, I hit it, knocked everything down, got up again, cried about it, and I just kept doing that. But when you ask yourself those questions, you put a blueprint in place. Imagine when you're getting in the car and you have a GPS. You put the GPS in, you can't just hit a button to get to your destination. You have to go through every milestone to get to your destination. So that's exactly what our career is in creatives. We are going to get there, but it's you that you're going to get yourself there by your destination. And you're only going to be able to know where you're going unless you have a GPS system, which is your journey. You have to make mistakes, because as you're making mistakes, you're really learning. You're learning what not to do. So being open, having a good perspective, and just knowing where you're headed. So I heard, backing up, you three, you'll have a good idea of where you want to go, right? I can tell you, I've been in this 15 years. I've scored an entire HBO Max series by myself, worked on the Wolverine. I was just having a problem 2 weeks ago getting myself to get people to answer me back. But it doesn't change. No matter who you are, you're always going to run into those problems of, okay, how do I adjust this in a different way to work for me? It doesn't mean there's this certain bar you cross and confetti goes off and you made it. That doesn't exist, man. So it's just always setting your own bar, but most importantly, setting a blueprint of how you're going to do it. You already have all the sync knowledge, so you just go ahead and create some kind of system to when you do reach out to music supervisors or advertising agencies or whoever, directors, creative directors, you want to point them back to a place where they can hear what you can do. Not your whole 5-minute email. It's just very brief. Point them. When they get there, it's going to speak for them. It's going to speak for you. In that folder, have your music that's tailored towards sync music. Don't just have a full 3-minute song. Have a song that's tailored specifically for sync music. When it comes to vocals, don't have vocals talking about name brands and stuff. Have very generic stuff, because you want it to appeal to many people, not just one thing. So if you have those things in place and they go and listen to your stuff and they hear that, they're going to take you. They're going to want you because you know what you're doing in that field. So learn the field, set your destination. Don't worry about how long it's going to take to get there. Just every day, just contribute to it over and over and set your own bar. And when you get that person to answer you back, set your bar for the next one and keep going and don't look back. That's the problem. We look back and we trip because we're not getting where we need to be fast enough. And it's not our time, it's divine time. And that's the hardest thing to know.
Thanks for that, Gary. I know that's one I still struggle with. Maybe I did it wrong. Maybe I said it wrong. Maybe they're the awesome, successful person that you think they are. And so when you contact them, they've got stuff going on and they will get back to you in their time, and keep contacting them without being spammy. But I know, like a lot of creatives, it must be me. It's the song. It's the email. I'm going to give the last question back to Zena.
I have worked with either an instrumentalist or another producer, and I've ended up, I would create something through the musical element they sent, but then I would end up redoing the song in a totally different way.
So Zaina's saying a lot of times when someone sends her a song, she ends up working with a lot of what they send, but that there are times when she changes stuff.
There's a song that was originally inspired by a riff somebody sent, but my original composition was inspired by what they sent. The first version of the song was, and even if it's unrecognizable today.
So I'm sorry, is your question about whether or not you need to give credit to the person who sent you the song originally, even though you've changed it so much? Or though it's only inspired by that song?
They sent me a beat with a guitar on it, and I wrote something to it, and they heard it. And then I ended up taking what I wrote and totally doing something else with it.
I think that's just more of a moral thing, to be honest. If you took the progressions, going back to the progression thing, then we're all inspired by chord progressions and whatnot. But I think it's specifically if you take the melody, it's still a composition, even if it is music, but it is still the composition part of it that you wrote around. In that case, it's just the right thing just to reach out and say, hey, look, because it may not even be the guitar and you did something different, then you can give them a smaller percentage because they did that. I mean, just at the end of the day, it's one of those things where, I don't know if you believe in karma, but karma will come back. Good things working with your fellow creators. Again, I think just be careful with that, just to make sure that however you got that music, that it's protected. When the transition from wherever it's at to your hands is protected, then everything else is kind of a moral thing from that point. If you want to reach out to them, if you can reach out to them, if it ever comes back at you, you have the protection of, I got this from you, you signed this, you were okay with it, I changed it, then it can go from there. But always go back to the root of how you got that material in your hands and make sure it was a legit thing between you and that creator. As long as that's solid, there's so many other pathways that could leach from that. But as long as that's solid, you're protected as a creator yourself.
I appreciate your answers.
No problem at all.
Thank you so much, Zaina, for contributing a lot tonight and giving us a lot to think about. If, it's not a subject that you always would jump into the conversation on, but you think it might be valuable for somebody else and you just want to continue to support our community and have us be able to bring this, but this is not something that used to exist in the music industry where you could really get on with people and get instant feedback, even just ways to think about something. It doesn't even necessarily have to be an answer for you, but definitely a spark to think about. We want to keep doing that for you, so please go ahead and join us. I know a lot of you had questions about sync tonight, which I'm so happy that Gilde is well versed in and succeeding in, and I'm just smiling because I know stuff that you guys don't. Gilde is awesome at it, and so I want to thank everybody for coming out, staying in, and still being with us, and we will see you all again next. But I love that you allow us to see your growth as a person, for better or for worse. It's amazing and it helps us.
Yeah, no matter where I go in my career, I'm always going to be a human first and a person first, so I don't believe in this magical I'm better than you type crap. Like, we're all human beings trying to get wherever we're going, so it's all that matters to me. So wish you all the best. Thank y'all for y'all's time. And I left my credentials there. Follow me, do all that stuff. I'm the worst at social media sometimes, my bad, but I will get back to you.
Thank you, everybody. Good night.
Take care.